Kurunjari viewers, that's hello in Manipuri. And I know a lot of people don't know that because, of course, the representation, the language is so damn less. We're joined by Mr. Paobel Chaoba from Manipur, who will give us insights on the upcoming Manipur elections and also talk to us about how the smaller parties this year are going to hold the key for the elections. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chaoba.
Thank you very much, Shruti.
How are things back in Manipur?
It's the election time and everyone has got the election fever.
Yeah.
And I guess we're having quite a busy time, but things will be very black and white come March 10th. That's when the election results will be out.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just get straight into the interview then. So my first question to you is, when it comes to Manipur, alliances as well as single parties are at the foreplay, right? With National People's Party, there's also Janata Dal United and Naga People's Front. So who holds the key to these elections this year?
I believe that, of course, the smaller parties play a very significant role. Yeah. Just like in 2017, the Congress had a big number of 28 winning seats out of the total 60. Yeah. So they had the majority then. But the BJP had 21, the numbers. Now they were assisted in the coalition government by the NPP, by the NPF, and the LJP, one lone candidate and one Trinamool candidate. So it was a coalition government. That is the same issue which is going to happen, as some political observers feel, that it would be very hard for any party to get a complete majority. So the NPP are fielding a lot more candidates than last time. That also goes for the NPF. They have got 10 candidates out. The Congress has got theirs, the BJP has got theirs. So in this situation, even if one party manages to get a number of more than something between 20 to 25, yeah, that will mean that there will be another kingmaker, someone, a smaller party, maybe the NPF, it may be the NPP, it may be the ZDU. So this smaller parties play a very important, a very crucial role in the formation of the government.
So the manifestos that have come in this year have tall claims. There's a manifesto that says that there'd be over 50,000 jobs. Then another manifesto says that there'd be a 33% reservation for women in the state. So how feasible are these claims? Are these claims really adhered to once the election is over? What are your views?
Personally, I feel that excuse me, these election manifestos are partly a big joke that people, the political parties play from time to time, especially during the time of elections. Yeah. For example, the BJP in their last election manifesto had prioritized on the same things, the same issues of employment, generating employment, and corruption, stop corrupt drugs, war on drugs, and also there was another big issue of APSPA being there. Now, the 5 years the coalition government of the BJP government has passed or gone, but still there's no change in for what you have mentioned, the employment sector, the youths, because now there are at least 7 lakhs unemployed youths in Manipur. The scenario more or less remains the same, and it's just lip service that they are providing. Okay, tell me, you wanted to ask something?
I mean, yeah, I agree. The tall claims, until and unless they're adhered to, until and unless there are actions taken to actually bring that to reality, put that on the forefront, these are basically just claims, right? So, yeah, that's there. So, next question to you is the armed conflict that's there between India and the rebel groups from the state, that has been at the forefront when it comes to Manipur. Do you believe that the elections will tap into a solution for the same?
Uh, I feel that this is a very complicated situation. Of course, Rajnath Singh was here
Yeah.
last Monday, I think. So he was saying that, okay, the Indian government is willing to open doors for initiating peace talks, dialogues, whatever you name it, framework agreements.
Right.
But I believe that this has to be complied by both state actors and non-state actors, because it has to be a bilateral issue. Even then, you can say that the central government comes in, and like what they are doing with the NSNIM, it can be a tripartite talk. But just one side's views and opinions, and how far that will go in a progressive talk
Right.
still remains to be seen. It is yet to be materialized. And of course, I totally agree that politics play a major big issue over there in that particular arena.
So, Mr. Chaubha, what do you think is the way forward when it comes to the lack of representation that the Manipur politics or the milieu or the people have in the mainland or the heartland of India? So, also there's an absence of the region's heartland politics when it comes to the main cities or countries, for that matter, back here in India. So, what do you believe? What do you think is the way forward? What do you think the solution is there for this lack of representation? Since you're there, you're probably the best person to answer that question, right? So, what do you think is the solution
Mm.
to this representation, scarcity of representation? If you let me say.
Yes, that's a very good question, and it is still very pertinent to point out that the way that the media has been giving us space, especially in the north of us in the Northeast, the mainland media, that we have to fight for space, and our correspondents had to fight for space,
Right.
especially in the print media.
Right.
Now, what happens is like thanks to the advent of media,
Got this, yeah.
like with internet and the digital media getting so much ground. Now the things has become a very close. I mean, like we can talk now each other while you are in there over this Zoom thing, for example, like what we are doing right now.
Right.
So this is a significant change, a paradigm shift in itself, and that we can also call it the golden age of journalism in a way, when this lack of representation is being addressed by the new generation of journalists, and included with the digital era. So I believe that now we have finally got some light at the end of the tunnel, which is quite nearby only, in a way of putting it only. So I believe uh, digital media, independent media, is giving Northeast Manipur a lot of space. For example, Scroll, Print, The Wire, East Mosul, all these independent media houses, digital media platforms are giving us a very good coverage also. And they are breaking the whole, what do you say, system that Manipur is somewhere people don't know what news will come out of Manipur except law and orders and some sport achievement from time to time. I think that even this time, the way that the national media is covering Manipur this time, I think is a significant improvement from all the other past times that we have experienced.
Right. Right. So when it comes to journalists, especially people like you, there are also other things that need consideration, right? There's UAPA, there's AFSPA. So how do people like you continue to work under those lines, continue to walk that tightrope? How exactly do you do that?
Uh, I believe that inside all of us we have a reasonable amount of fear, of
Yeah.
course, and it's perfectly fine to be afraid. But sometimes when you're working in your profession and you are doing right by it, you're trying to do right by it for what you believe in. And I believe that particular responsibility sometimes somewhere outweighs that risk. And sometimes you have also to, in a way, tell yourself like there's something, hello, that we need to hold on to. That is for the future, for a better future. It may be for Manipur, it may be for my locality, it may be for the country or anything like that. But the belief that we need to do our job and in the right manner, plus that we have to fight some issues, the oppressive regimes, the dictatorial issues, the people in power who's always trying to buy you or twist your arm. This has to be a challenge, and it comes with a moral challenge also. To avoid the bribes, to be able to stay at your home knowing that some people might come and pick you up and you might not be seen anymore thanks to certain trends of previous law and order. We have 1,528 fake encounter cases. So I believe that we all have to have some trust in the larger, I would say, for the better and larger interest of the public.
What do you believe are the challenges, the biggest challenges when it comes to covering elections for Manipur? You've been doing that for long now, for even for you've also been an investigative reporter. So, what do you believe are the biggest challenges when it comes to covering elections?
So one of the issues is the terrain that we have over here.
Right.
And the connectivity of some of the hill districts are very bad and very poor. So if you want to go to a very hypersensitive polling station where there might be issues of, shootings and people who are just trying to manipulate the election, the EVM machines and whatnot. And since we have a law and order situation over here, and especially in the border areas, that's very hard to get information from. Also due to mobile connectivity not being there. But I think those issues are getting a little bit better with time. And with the advance or advent of some, I would say like roads and mobile towers coming up in the hill areas. Pretty much I believe it's getting better.
So, do you believe there needs to be a collaboration of sorts between the journalists of the northeastern states and the journalists of the eastern states and northern states for that matter? Will that, tackle the problem of the lack of representation that northeastern states has? How exactly do we address that issue? Being journalists and being the pillar of the constitution and the democracy, how exactly do we collaborate? How exactly do we try and bring in the stories from the northeastern states to the forefront?
Yes. For that thing, I believe that the big media houses do not indulge in parachuting or like parachute journalism. They should keep proper correspondence in our states. So the people from the mainland, they will know what is happening in Manipur. They can feel, they can know the issues, what are the important ones, and what are the problems that we face here. So when one person like you have pointed out, we locals, we know the place, all right. But if there is some exchange of thoughts and in a manner where we personally come down over here, see the things, feel the issues and the vibes, that means you can do a lot more because your perspective is what matters. So I believe that if we do those sort of things like, maintaining constant communication between the mainland media and the Northeast, and especially Manipur, I believe that communication, two-way communication, is very important, and especially that there needs to be a proper correspondence from time to time. They have to be put here in the States. That would go very far.
Also, do you have any anecdotes from your reporting days, from reporting in Manipur or covering elections that you'd like to share? Any stories or incidents?
Uh, in our elections, there are some very strange people who have come across also, and very violent incidents. But there are so many stories and things to tell. But what I would like to point out is like we have seen the worst, that Manipur has gone through a lot of things, especially not only with elections, but among other things also. But what we need right now is that the youths have to focus on bringing about a better Manipur, a better change for not only Manipur, perhaps for the country and all. And these are the youths that we need to focus on, that we need to groom also. So in the elections, we all know what's happening, and politicians, I personally don't have much trust in politicians, because you know that they are more of lip service than really doing what they should be doing. So what we are focusing now is on the youths. We have started Youth Collective Manipur, where we empower all the youths. We try to discuss, we debate about the elections on what can be the way forward. So I believe these are things that are worth doing in Manipur also. And as you have pointed out, it would be the way forward, a beautiful way forward.
Sir, if I ask you if you could describe this season, elections in Manipur, in a word, what would that be?
Hectic.
That's the one.
And see, it's like money and muscle power.
Right.
Those are two very important areas, which the agenda here is like, how much money do you have to buy votes? And there are a lot of swinging votes also, and plus arm twisting, manipulation, the power play, the money play. These are very important issues which are happening over here.
Right.
But I would say not a fair democratic exercise.
And what are your personal preferences when it comes to the elections?
Personal preference in the sense?
Who are you rooting for? Is it a party? Is it one person? Any ideas that you really want to see the shape of the day? What exactly
I
are you?
want Manipur not to be dependent on big capitalist parties,
Right.
national parties.
Right.
I would like individuals, our youths, our politicians to be more inclined towards regionalism, towards regional parties. And we need much of that here in Manipur, because we do not have many power, in that sense, any good regional party.
Right.
And we need good individuals, youths. There are many coming out, and I believe they should walk the regional party line. That is what I root for.
So viewers, that was Mr. Paobel Chaoba joining us from Manipur, giving us insights. Who better than somebody like him to give us insights on the Manipur elections this year? You were watching People's Mandate at ACJ News. I'm your host, Shruti, signing off.